Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is finally Friday, July 11th, and welcome to another new episode of Style by Stevie. Our very special guest today is an actor, playwright, and storyteller, and I'm super excited to have him here in the dollhouse with me. And he hails from North Carolina. I have family there in North Carolina. So without further ado, let's welcome to the dollhouse, J. Mardrice Henderson. TGIF, everyone. TGIF. I hope y'all are doing as awesome as I am. Let me share this live with him so that we can get him in here. And next week's show lineup is up, so y'all make sure y'all go and check out who's coming on the show next week. Give me a sec, y'all. Give me a sec so that I can share this with him. Boom. There we are. Did y'all enjoy yesterday's conversation that I had with Misha Robinson from Real Life ATL? If you have not seen it, I need you guys all to go back and check it out. So, without further ado, we're going to welcome my very special guest, Fashion Dolls. Please welcome to the dollhouse, J. Mardrice Henderson. Right. Do, 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 do. Oh, his phone restarted. Oh my goodness. We're gonna wait a few minutes, Fashion Dolls. In the meantime, I need you guys to share this live. It's been a fabulous week thus far. It's been an amazing week. Paris Fashion Week, Paris Haute Couture Week is still going on, and I had to keep it going. I'm feeling like a leopard today and all this leopard print, honey. And then yesterday, or was it the day before, it felt like a pink confection just wrapped in pink. And I hope you guys loved it all. Hi, now's the time. Shout outs to my amazing colleague. We got to catch up again. We got to do something together. Shout outs to my colleague. Okay, my very special guest is here. I need you guys to go and check out my colleague. Now's the time on Wayo FM. Please go and check him out as well. Let's add my very special guest, J. Mardrice Henderson. And hopefully it works this time. Yes, and I'm gonna text you. We gotta set up something.
Is this right? Am I here? Am I here?
Give it a minute. It's buffering.
Come on, kid. What's happening?
Okay, I can. It popped up at the screen, but we can't see you. It's buffering. It's spinning.
Oh wow. Sorry about that.
Yes. Make sure that your cam is on so that everyone can see you. This is his first time live. We're gonna get it right. Oh no! For the next one. For the next one. For the next one, we're going to set up something because I'd love to catch up with you on everything that is going on. Give us a sec, Fashion Dolls. And I'm trying to adjust my stand. You might have to come out, and then come back in. Jump out and then jump back in so that we'll be able to see you. Because on my screen, I'm seeing like the spinning circle. It's like it's buffering. Give me a minute. You see gray? Yeah, it's buff. That's what I'm saying. It's buffering on my end. So you might have to jump out, Jay, and then come back in so that we can see you. Oh, see, that's what I was afraid of. See how God don't like ugly. God don't like me today. God does not like me at all, y'all. Let me start a new live and see if that will work also. Oh no, he left. He's coming back. Y'all see how God don't like, see how God don't like. God is saying, bitch, not today, honey. No, you don't. Mm-mm. Play with me and I got something for you. That's what God is saying. Okay. Jay, let me know if you, let me see. Let me try now. Let me try to add him now and see if it'll work. Try now. Let me try to add him now. Okay. And see if it'll work. Try now. Let me try to add him
now. Okay. Is this better? Is this working?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Perfect. I can
awesome. So technology is not my thing. So thank you. Wow. I don't know what all that was. I had it in like 8 different places. Sweet.
Take your time. Welcome to the Dollhouse. How has 2025 been for you so far?
It's been 2025 for sure. I'm sure we're all just trying to breathe and pray through it. So for sure. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Cool.
But overall, how has the journey in 2025 been for you so far? You have so many projects. You're working on so many things. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I've been blessed. It's definitely been a journey for sure. As an artist and creative, we know that this is a marathon, not a race. So we're just every day is a blessing. Every opportunity to showcase the talent that I've been given by my creator is a blessing. So I take it not for granted the blessings that I've been receiving.
Yes. And you are a man who wears so many hats. I mean, you are an actor, you are a playwright, you are a storyteller, and we both have something in common. I was doing my research on you, and you're from North Carolina. I have family there. So,
Really? What part?
yes.
What part of North Carolina?
Durham and Raleigh. I have a cousin there. I have a brother there. And then I have a girlfriend there. Shout outs to my girlfriend, Stephanie Davenport. Dance Steph here on the gram. Make sure y'all go and show her some love
That's
as
what's
well.
up.
So, yes. And then Nelson Davis, who was a good friend of mine, is there as well, too. Also an actor. He is killing it. Both of you guys are killing it right now at this moment. But let's start from the beginning of your journey. Like I said, from North Carolina, born and raised. At what age did you discover your aspirations for acting, for playwright?
I actually been thinking about that. I attribute it to think I was in the first or second grade. I think I was, and I played a frog in my elementary school's production of something. I don't know what it was, and I had to wear these tights. I talked to my mom about this actually not so long ago, and I didn't want to wear it. I'm like, I don't want to do this. What is this? Like, why are we even doing this? And so I think I had like one line, ribbit. Ribbit was my one line. And so afterwards, once this show was done, we got this applause, right? And I'm sure it's filled with like parents, and they were going to applaud you no matter what you did. But something in that moment just like stuck for me. I was like, you know what? I like that. That felt good. And so ever since then, it's just like, I guess I got the bug, as they say. Playing a frog, I got the bug.
And this is small town beginnings in the
Oh,
first
for
grade.
sure. Fret not, the Bible says, fret not small beginnings. So thank you for saying that.
Yes, absolutely. And then after that, here you are. You graduated from the University of North Carolina at Greensboro, and you got a bachelor's in fine arts and drama. So, what was that experience like for you? Yes, I did do my research.
I'm marveling at your research. Like, oh man, definitely you hit all the points. So I also say that my first actual acting, my debut of acting, was on my grandmother's front steps, where I had these one man shows that nobody saw but the grass. But I just loved acting. I wrote my own stuff. I had notebooks at a very young age of just like reading stuff. And I grew up with older relatives. So I grew up on like the soap operas, The Young and the Restlesses, and the Aswad and all that, and the Matlocks, and In the Heat of the Night. So I had that very like old soul, like ground teaching, right? And so I told my parents, I'm like, I want to go to school for acting. I wish they had told me that, I should have minored in acting because majoring in acting, you come out of school is like, now what? But I'm glad I had the experience. So I went to the University of North Carolina at Greensboro and I majored in uh, acting concentration. And it's very political how that whole thing goes. It is a PWI, which is a predominantly white institute. So there weren't many of me who looked like me there. But I made the most of it. And what I learned most about being a Bachelor of Arts, because there's a Bachelor of Fine Arts program, which is more keen to like the acting aspect. But I was a Bachelor of Arts, so I got to see all like the behind the scenes, like how the sets were made, how the clothing and costuming goes into it. And I really just learned an appreciation and a respect for the entire collaborative of what goes into theater and what goes into putting on a show. So that's really what I took away from that experience for sure.
Absolutely. And then from there, in 2019, you graced the National Black Theater Festival main stage. It was a sold out premiere of Pooled, a gospel musical drama. What was that
Yeah.
experience like? You've had so many highlights in your career to check off. If there was one moment in time that stood out to you that you could go back in your career and remember, what would that moment be?
Um. Wow. So I want to address too the National Black Theater Festival. But I think the first time I actually felt like I had like a breakthrough is the feature film, and we'll come back to that at some point. My first feature film, which is based off of a play that I did that I auditioned for. But in 2019, right? So once I graduated college, I moved to the Raleigh-Durham area, and I had some success in theater here. Had done several shows, and I saw this show called Pooled, which premiered, I think, in like 2017, 2018. I'm not sure. And I had done a lot. And again, I went to most of my surroundings were people who were not of the BIPOC, persuasion.
Yeah.
And I saw this show filled with black faces and black voices and black stories. And as a man of faith, it also had that as well. So I was like, I told the director and the creator, I said, I am willing to play the water just to be a part of this phenomenon. And so some things happened behind the scenes that we don't have to get into, but I got into the show and I think we maybe had one or two performances, and then we found out we were going to the National Black Theater Festival, which is a festival that I'd always heard about, but had never, I mean, it was started by like Esther Roll and Maya Angelou. Like these were the giants whose shoulders we stand on, right? And they had created
Yeah.
this thing right in our backyard in Winston-Salem, and I was going to be a part of it. So that was a phenomenal experience for sure. Having never been there before, this little black boy from my grandmother's front steps on this grand stage, right? So it shows you that dreams do come true and that we serve a God who's able to do anything but fail.
And I'm gonna go back and piggyback off of what you just said. And I love what my
Sure.
colleague, shout outs to Now's the Time. Make sure you guys go and check him out. I've known Now's the Time for a very long time, like years. And we talk about this all the time, the importance of representation. For you to go to the National Black Theater Festival and
Mm-hmm.
see people that look like you across the diaspora,
For sure.
how did that make you feel?
So the opening night of the festival, they have what it's called a gala, where they just have like they just celebrate our blackness and our success in theater. And so I get there and I'm at this table and I see like Margaret Avery, who played Suge Avery from The Color Purple, as the
Yeah,
host, and I see like Tamara Tooney, and I'm looking at and I'm like I'm in the same room with these people, and they start out the evening with like a parade of all of the contributors and collaborators of the event. And before they come in, they have African dancers. So you start the night with African drums. So we connect ourselves to our African roots at the very start of the event. And after that event, we go to one of the first shows of the festival. And on the way there, they're beating drums. They're dancing in the streets. So they turn Winston-Salem into like mini Africa at that moment, right? And so it's just to be there and for my first time to be there and to experience all that in and to take all that in, I felt special, right? And then I was sharing it with some of my castmates as well, who also, they was their first time. So we were like, we came from Raleigh and we're here. I am here, I'm here, which is what the song from The Color Purple, right? It was a very I'm here moment.
And you went again in 2022, and you got to
Oh,
work
man.
with the amazing Ted Lange from The Love Boat. You got to work with him in Widow's Row, the dance on the Widow's Row. So, what was that experience like being able to work with Ted?
Just a quick correction. So I went in 2022 with Dancing Widow's Road, which was written by Sam Art Williams, who's from Durham, North Carolina, who also was a producer for The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
And he did shows like Martin as well too. You see
Right,
him
he
in
did.
credits.
He did.
Yes.
Right. So we actually went and took that show. That was a comedy, one of my first comedies that I ever done on stage. We took that show to that festival, and while I was there, that's why I think relationships are so important. My pastor tells us that relationship is the new currency. So while I was there, a colleague of mine said, "Hey, Ted Lange is doing a reading of his show while we're here. Do you want to be a part?" And I was like, first of all, that's Isaac from the Love Boat. No matter what he is requesting, I'm up for it. So while I was already in town, that just kind of happened. And another friend of mine who was also in the Widow's Row with me, she was also selected to be in the reading for Ted Lange. And we got to get up close and personal with Hal Williams from 227, and Chicken George. His name is Ben Vereen. The great Ben Vereen was there. And so yeah, it was a crazy. I'm like, we're going back, and it's like we're going up another level. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Again, so many. That's My Mama, and a stage reading of Blues in My Coffee. And
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
gone
yeah.
on to do so much since then. You've worked as Richard Wright in Native, and this is with EBZB Productions.
Hmm.
Uh, so many things. If you could go back in time
Hmm.
and tell that little boy who was on that step in his grandmother's yard
Hmm.
doing his one man show, there was not a person, not a soul there but the grass, as you stated.
Right.
If you could go back in time and tell that little boy something, what would you tell him?
Um, just wait, wait. There's a blessing in waiting. There's a blessing in having patience. I think we, especially now, I mean, this is way before social media where everything looks like it's in a microwave and it's happening so fast. But I think sometimes quality over quantity is
Mm,
much, much better, right? So because you feel like you're not in everything and you're not always doing something and you feel like, your star is starting to dim, but that's not necessarily true. If you just wait, I say on the Lord and be of good courage. That would be what I would say.
absolutely. Absolutely.
You've done your homework, man. Wow.
I, all the
Because
time, all the time.
we never realize because I think a lot of times we're, especially for actors, we're so trained to look for what's next, what's coming, what's our next job, what's our next booking, that it's hard to actually stop and look back and say, hey, I've done a lot, right? I've done a lot, and it's enough to be proud of. Yeah. So I
Absolutely.
appreciate that.
What did your parents say? Because I love to know, because our parents have their reservations about us getting into the show
Hmm.
business. They say, you want to do what? You want to be a singer? You going to do what? Because I was raised by a Marine vet,
Oh
and my
wow.
mother, she was a cashier. So growing up with that structure and that
Hmm.
discipline from both
Right.
parents
Oh, for
in my
sure.
life molded me into the woman that you guys see today. And our parents in our lives have some sort of impact. So what did your parents have to say
Sure.
seeing you on that stage?
Well, I am unashamedly a mama's boy, for sure. She's my best friend. She's an educator, so she was been a teacher all my life. So I value education very, very much so because of her. And I think she kind of knew something was always there. we used to do
Yeah.
like plays in church, and they always called them like. And what's so crazy is that I'm naturally just me myself. I'm very introverted and very shy, but when I get on stage, I'm like this whole different person. And I think she saw that early on because she tried to put me in like clubs and 4-H and all that. I'm like, I'm just not. That's just not who I am. But once I'm on that stage or in like that setting, it's a whole new person that comes out. My father, he was a lot more reserved, like I was. He was a construction guy, so he was a very manly, very masculine energy. I mean, he was like, "Oh, okay, is that what you want to do? Just that's your thing." I'm proud of you, right? Unfortunately, he passed some years back, but he did. But he was able to see a commercial that I did for Food Lion, and I was very, very happy to see that. But yeah, they were always supportive. They may not have understood because again, we come from rural North Carolina, where TV is TV. That's something we would
That's right.
never ever be. But I think they always knew that I could. My dreams were my dreams, and they didn't try to stunt my growth.
Yes. Are there any life lessons that you wish you would have known earlier, getting into the business, getting into your career?
That there's not going to be some producer that sees you at Food Lion and just like puts you on. That doesn't happen. We hear those stories, and they're fantastical, but it doesn't happen. So what I learn a lot now is patience, and I'm learning a lot now to stop waiting by the phone. I have an agent, and I have people who are like trying to make moves for me. But again, we can't always just sit and wait. You have to create your own content, create your own things, and because if you don't, you won't work. And I'm sure you know that as well. Like if you don't do it yourself, and it takes time, editing and producing, and like we have, especially now with social media and with all the strikes that are going on, with the writer strike and actor strike, a lot of the work has been put on us. And ever since the pandemic, where everybody's doing self-tape auditions, like you have to do your own lighting, like tonight, figuring all this stuff out. I've been doing that for like 5, 6 years now, and still ain't got it. But we're here. We're here.
And that's where we are. What is the philosophy that guides your decisions and actions in life?
Oh, for sure. I'm a man of faith. God is the
Mm.
source and the creator, for sure. I mean, I'm a church boy, right? I was a little church boy rocking from, 3 months to today. So he's everything, to be honest. He's the leader and the guider. And I think if I keep that at the forefront, that actually helps, keep the sanity in this business. Because if you don't have some resource or some semblance of having stationary at some point in your life, if there's not a base within you, you'll be susceptible to go anywhere, anything, and do anything, right? So I have those moral standards that definitely keep me sane and keep me encouraged.
And that right there is about humility and having that
Mm-hmm.
understanding. That's what our parents want us to do. Because my
Right.
grandmother, she's 80. I talk about her all the time here on the show.
Mm.
And she's 80 years old. 80
Oh
years
wow.
old, and she's still alive, Jay.
Yes, ma'am.
And I talk to my grandmother all the time. And one thing she always tells me is this. She says, put God first in everything that you do. You ain't too big. Don't get too big for this industry.
Come
But
on
you
now.
forget who you are and forget how you've gotten here. Because just as
Right.
fast as you got it, God can
Come
take it
on.
away.
Come
That's
on.
something that she always tells me. Every
Yeah.
time I call her, if I'm taking a test, even when I was going to school and I've got a
Mm-hmm.
big test or an exam before we graduated, because you always have to take that exit exam when you're getting out of high school. You're
Yeah.
nervous. You don't know what's going on. If you're going to be, all of these things, you start to worry. And she said, put God first in everything you do. You got a test tomorrow. You put God first. You study and you'll pass. And that's
Oh, for
something
sure.
that has always stuck with me, even to
Yeah.
my adult years. So
Uh,
it's
my
key and crucial.
my mother is a minister, and growing up, before I left for school, got on that school bus, like I was
Mm.
oiled down. If you believe in the power of like anointing oil, like I was greasy. Like nothing was gonna come on me today because even if it came near me, it's probably gonna slide off because she had me oiled down. Vaseline and anointing oil. That's the two things I was gonna have before I walked out that door. So yeah, God, and I think we realize it as we don't see it as when we're younger, but as we grow older, for sure. Because actually, and I'll tell this story. I don't think I've ever told it publicly, So when I was 15 or 16, I was in a very, very tragic accident with my grandmother. She was hit head on by another driver, and
Oh,
I was the only person to survive that accident. That was over 20 years ago. And that's when I knew. I said, there has to be. I hate that, we lost she was the foundation of our family. Of course, losing her was traumatic. But I realized then that I had to still be here for a reason, right? And I had to have been kept here for a reason. And so I definitely lean on that for sure, on that knowledge, on that remembrance.
and she's not gone. Her spirit is still here. Because I lost
Uh,
my grandmother and I lost my sister. I lost my grandmother in 96, which would have been my
mm.
father's mom. And we were really, really close. And
Oh,
then I
wow.
lost my sister in 2018. Her birthday was last month, the 29th, June
Mm.
29th, 1986. And my guest that
That's,
I had on earlier in the show, Tony DeMille, her and him both share a birthday on the same exact day.
wow. And
So that was like June
my grandmother's
29th.
birthday was June 30th.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
everything aligns, God aligns things perfectly for a reason.
Doesn't
And
he
it's
though?
just you have to pinch yourself sometimes because it's just like, okay, God, what sign are you trying to tell me right now? Like really, is this happening
Yeah,
to
for
me?
sure.
It's
Right.
like your guardian angels are walking over you. And
Mm-hmm.
God gives you dreams sometimes. My
Mm-hmm.
mother manifested my nephew. My nephew is almost 2 years old. My brother's son. Um, I would have never, I can't even imagine my brother being a parent now, but it's so beautiful to see him in this light. I'm an auntie. So
Oh, wow.
my mother had a dream about a baby on the roof. It was God gave her a weird dream about a baby on the roof. And you know
Yeah.
how old parents, if you're old school, very, very from the old school, me and Jay
Oh,
are
yeah,
from the South, so
for
we
sure.
know
Oh, yeah.
for real. And
Yeah,
your
oh, for
parents know
sure.
this. I was dreaming of fishes last night.
Come on. I was
That
about
was
to say
her
that. I
dream.
was about to say it.
That was her dream. Right after that dream happened,
Yeah,
few
yeah.
months later, my brother's wife is pregnant. I had
Wow.
no idea because you know how
Wow.
women hide their pregnancy. You know they hide
Yeah.
it. They wear the baggy clothes.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
girl in I think it was TLC Chili hid her
Mm-hmm.
pregnancy, and then
Okay.
for a while she revealed it. I mean, a woman will do that, but
Mm.
I heard her. I'm like, okay, oh, I didn't know. I didn't know because she had on all black, but
Mm.
I didn't know till she came to the house, and then I gave her a hug. And then mama said, you didn't know she was pregnant? I said, no, I didn't know. I did not know at all. And then,
Yeah.
boom, here's my nephew, my
Oh,
beautiful
wow.
nephew. When I get to hold him, and he was as small as a pea. And I had to be careful not to let his head drop. I had to put him all the way up to my chest and everything. Just that feeling of being able to bond with my nephew. Like, wow,
Wow.
this is literally, and he looks exactly like me.
Oh,
So he
beautiful.
must be getting me mixed up for his daddy because we both look alike. We do it all the time. My mother had this picture of us dressed just alike, and I have to bring it and show it on the show to y'all one day.
Yeah, yeah,
We
yeah.
both had on green turtlenecks, and I said,
Wow.
"That's not that's Joe," because I call him we call him Joe sometimes. That's Joe. That's not me. Mama's like,
Yeah.
"No, that's you," because we look just alike as a baby, and it's hard to
Wow.
tell. So I mean, even my nephew looks just like him. So it's hard for me to look at my nephew and say, "You look just like your daddy. You look just
Yeah.
like me too." So he is definitely that for sure. He is my father's child. And what's so
That's
crazy is
beautiful.
he's getting into everything. He knows
Yeah.
sign language, Jay. He knows sign language.
And how old
He
is he?
knows how to say almost 2 years old, y'all. He
Sign
knows
language.
sign language. He knows how to
Sheesh.
say no more. I've had enough. And then
Wow.
what was so funny is the teacher at the daycare, thought
Mhm.
the baby wanted to be picked up. And my brother's wife was like, you know, he can walk, right? He likes to be carried around. So
Mhm.
we got two babies in the family. We got my nephew, and
Wow.
then I have a 5-year-old toy poodle, and she is very, very small. I think she takes after me. She is very much a diva.
Oh,
And she
wow.
likes to be picked up when she wants to be picked up. She'll lay out. I'll go and I'll put her on my mom's bed and let her lay in the bed with my mom. She goes and she jumps right down. See, she does what she want to do. She's stubborn. So I
Wow.
was like, he definitely has my brother's personality. My nephew, my almost 2 year old nephew, has my brother's personality and walks to the beat of his own drum. So I say
Wow.
that
That's
to say
beautiful.
this: the
That's beautiful.
ancestors are watching. They
For
are
sure.
watching and they are smiling and they are laughing. The ones that we lost, your grandma, my sister, they put signs in our life. God put signs in our life for some sort of thing. Something could happen, like, okay, I remember something falling on my sister's birthday, and I
Mm.
looked up and I said, okay, this is God giving me a sign because this can't be real for this to fall on her birthday, which is on the
Mm.
29th. I think it was Fashion Week or something that was going on that I was working and doing coverage for. And I said, wow, this falls on my sister's birthday. And
Wow.
it was on a Sunday. If you go back in June and look at your calendars, her
Mm.
birthday fell on a Sunday, June 29th.
Wow.
And we didn't really do anything. We were going to do something special like a balloon release. But I said, you know what? I didn't forget her. I keep mentioning her name. And I think that for each and every one of us who lost someone in our lives that's significant to us, we can remember those little things just by calling their names, just by looking
Mm.
at a picture. Um, I kept little things that were sentimental to her. Her makeup case. And I'm looking at it right now. It's the silver makeup case where I would
Mm.
go and I would do her makeup at the house that she was staying at. And it was some pillows. And they looked like, you know how rose blooms, these beautiful
Yeah.
red pillows. I kept those as well too. So
Wow.
certain things that are sentimental. She made me a birthday card. And
Mm.
Tweety Bird is one of my favorite characters from the
Okay.
Looney Tunes. So
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
put Tweety Bird on the card. It was beautiful. I kept it. It's little things like that that remind me of her, that are
Wow.
sentimental. Whereas my mom, the parents, if you lost a child, if you're a parent out there, you know what it's like to lose a child. You just can't stomach to look at the picture because it'll cause you pain.
Mm.
But I tell my mother all the time, she's still here in spirit. To
Yeah.
anybody who's lost anybody, they're not gone. They're there in that house with you.
Mm.
Something could fall over. And I'm not talking about ghosts or any of that. I'm talking about their spirit is still there, watching over you and protecting you. God puts guardian angels in your life for a reason, and they watch over you and they make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do. So, to anybody out there that doesn't believe, you better start believing because
For sure.
there is a such thing as the afterlife, and the afterlife floats along with you. I could be doing something and something good could happen to me. I remember it was one magazine publication that just recently did an article about me. I said, you want to write an article about me? They was like, yes, we want to write an article about you, telling my story or whatever. And I was honored. So it's just like 2 and 2 equals 4. So things align for a reason.
Yeah.
And I was just so blessed because I know my
Yeah. For
sister's
sure.
watching now. And that's to anybody who's lost a friend or a parent or a sibling.
Mm.
Just know that their spirit is there.
Yeah. That's always so encouraging to hear, and especially, and what I love is that they don't leave us because we always have the memories of them.
Mhm.
As long as you have those memories, those people are always going to be there with you, right? And I just think that's such a beautiful. And there, I don't want to take too much time, but our stories are very, very akin to each other. So my brother was married just months before my grandmother passed, and after she passed, he had his first son in that same year, right? And his son, who's now like 23 years old, who looks exactly like me, right? And so there's like baby pictures. My mom's even confused about which one is me, which one is Josiah. And holding on to certain things, I'm actually in the room now where I have my grandmother's bookcase in this room, and I hold all my books in that case, and I'm looking at it right now. And so the semblances and the symbiotic references that we're having here is a beautiful thing.
And their spirits live through us because we look just like them. Like
Hmm.
my brother's still alive and living, but I'm saying we look just alike, but
Yeah,
our personalities are so different.
right.
Like
Yeah.
my brother's a sports lover. I'm a fashion girl. I love makeup and getting my hair and nails done. So the complete opposite. He's not into any of that. Now his wife,
Mm.
on the other hand, me and her clicked because she likes those type of things. You know, we're
Right.
women. So, I mean, we're easily influenced. We love makeup, we love hair. And she's always asking me, what's the latest in hair care and things like that. She wants to know. So it's good. And we formed a bond just like that.
Yeah.
And it's great to have her inside the family. But
Great.
as far as my sister, it's certain things that I would do that my and your parents will kind of be like, do you notice your sister would do that? And you kind of have to catch yourself, like, you remind
Mm-hmm.
me so much of her. But I'm like, I can't take her place. Her
Right.
spirit is here with me. It's inside of me, yes. But I can't replace her. I can't take her place. And I had a friend, shout outs to Bree. She told me this as well too. She said I could never take your sister's place. You are my sister, but I could never take your sister's place.
Right.
That I know the pain and suffering, and she told me that. She said I know the pain you're going through, what it's like to lose somebody.
Right.
And I will never forget those words that she told me. The pain of losing somebody. It's 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 like your soul has been ripped out of
Oh,
your
for sure.
body. I can't describe the feeling. I'm trying not to get emotional now.
Yeah.
Melanie, all of my bridges will kill me. I ain't trying to mess up this beat today. Nope. So we gonna fight through these tears.
Well,
Okay.
grief certainly is a process for sure, and I think
Yeah.
that needs to be studied, especially in our community, because we don't want to deal with some things sometimes. But that's another interview for another time, I'm sure.
Yeah. Mental health and pain and suffering.
Yeah, for
Never know
sure.
what a person could be going through. And
Right.
just a smile, a hug, and I tell people this all the
Yeah.
time, not just living life through fire, but also staying aware, staying aware and knowing that people genuinely care for you. My mother said something one day, and it was most recently. She said, it feels like she was crying. I said, Mommy, why are you crying? Sometimes I feel like people turned their backs on me.
Mm,
And that's something that I can relate to. I suffer with abandonment and
mm,
feeling alone, feeling left out. You can be Holly Berry. You can have millions of dollars. You can have an Oscar. You can have an Emmy Award.
mm.
And in the room, you can still feel empty.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard her say how empty she sometimes feels in interviews. I use Holly Berry as an example, but it's other people who
For
feel the
sure.
same way she felt, the same way I felt, which is you've got everything and you still
Mm-hmm.
feel like there's that void missing. And I
Right.
think it's because after grieving the loss of somebody, it's like your world is incomplete in a way. And I think a lot of people can relate to that. So by sharing that, as my colleague Now's the Time just said, it's like you find the pieces back of yourself when you share it with people. So for my
Right.
mom, and I called my aunt her sister because she has three sisters, and I called my aunt. And she said, don't ever let that come out your mouth. She was like, girl, you got people out here that love you, that genuinely care for you. My mother's the type of person, she raised me to be a nurturer, to
Mm.
care for other people's needs. And that's why I got into the business of hosting this show,
Yeah.
this platform, because I care. And I want
Right.
people to genuinely know that I care, that you have an ear that you can listen to. Jay, you wouldn't believe some of the responses. Yes, I'm still in some of my guests' business. I'm not going to tell their names though, but I will get DMs after I've done an interview with the guest saying, you made me feel welcomed. Because doing
Mm.
an interview can be nerve wracking. Trust me,
Sure.
I know. I've had the
Yeah.
shoe on the other foot where I went in
Oh, for
someone
sure.
else's house. Ain't calling no names, LaTroy Gardner. But I'm cool with LaTroy because LaTroy is also from the Carolinas. And it's a
Okay.
thing, Southern hospitality. Us from the Carolinas, we click because it's that
Mhm.
Southern hospitality. What
Right.
you see is what you get. We're going to make you laugh. We're going to make you feel welcome. And he made me feel welcome. I invited him on my show.
Mm.
And he's the one man catalog. Make sure y'all head on over. Stop Looking Listen podcast. Check him out. Uh, and he asked me questions about my childhood, about my family. And one thing that I told him, I said, I get my nurturing spirit from my mother, and the
Mm.
discipline came from my father. The structure of how I do my interviews on time, how I showed up on my interviews always on time, that was something that my father is very keen on, which is
Yeah.
professionalism, being on time, doing things the
For
right way
sure.
because of that Marine experience, serving in the
Yeah.
Marines. My brother served in the military. My uncle served in the military. So structure and discipline and being professional is something, and punctual and having it all together. Because sometimes you're going to be a few minutes late, but you let your guests know.
Right.
That has always been my thing. So I give my father credit for that, for
Mhm.
being on top of being professional, being on top of having discipline and structure. The same for any of our favorite artists. Beyonce is a prime example. She inspires me because of how she does things. She's about her business. And you
Yeah.
see her behind the scenes. She will let you know, nope, do it again. Michael Jackson was the same way.
Hmm.
Felicia Rashad is the same way. She gonna let you know if you messing up.
Oh yeah.
Debbie Allen is another one. So if you want to go into the Broadway realm,
Right.
Denzel Washington, consummate. These are consummate perfectionists that I just named, and I want
Right.
to be in the when I leave my legacy. I want to be up there with those consummate
Oh, for sure.
perfectionists and professionals because they worked hard to get where they're at in their careers, and they studied the craft. They know what it's like to have discipline,
Right.
and
But
that's one thing my father's taught me.
I love the ideals that you have for yourself. But I want to also remind you that you also have already left a legacy for people, right? Because for people to tell you that in your DMs that how you make them, how you make somebody feel is so important. And we take that not lightly, right? We want to meet the echelons of the Denzels and the Debbies, but how you made somebody feel on that day, or made somebody smile, or for somebody to tell you or message you that you made me feel comfortable, that alone is legacy, right? So I'll just be very, very mindful of that as well. That even if you never see your name in lights, you've impacted someone, right? And to be proud of that and take heart in that for sure, because it's not an easy thing to do. It may seem like it's very small, but it's not, because people are going through right now this big beautiful bill and all that stuff. It ain't so beautiful, but that's another conversation. Yes, ma'am.
And I do
Yeah.
that. I've been touching on it for the past weeks. I'm gonna save it for another day.
Right.
I gave my
Mm-hmm.
thoughts yesterday with my girl Misha Robinson. So y'all go and check that out. Me and her
Mm-hmm.
both let it have. We needed it. We needed to release because I know a lot of
Right.
people are feeling moments like this, where it's
Right.
just like we feel hopelessness, we feel empty, we feel despair. And as it pertains to losing someone, to losing your fundamental principles and rights, to have them stripped and taken away from you, who are you to deny that to somebody? But guess what? This person might think he's a king, but there's one king that is bigger than him,
What are you
and he
talking
will
about?
surely bring him down.
King
I've
of
talked to
Kings.
my mother about this, and she said the king that we should be worshiping is God because he's in control. He
Right.
sees everything that's going on. He ain't sleep. And if people don't think that karma will come back times two, even me, I've had, it's all about self-preservation and accountability, holding yourself accountable. And one thing I can learn for sure is my mother always taught me this. She always taught me that when you do something tenfold, if you do something good, if you helping somebody, God sees that. He will bless you in return.
Oh yeah,
And God's
for
going to
sure.
bless you many a times. I've had to nurse my mom back to health. I remember
Mm.
she got surgery on her back, neck, and spine down here, this part. And I had to literally nurse this woman back to health. It's like the roles have been reversed. You know, when a
Yeah.
mother sees their child sick, what does a
Mm-hmm.
mother do? They take
Right.
care of their child. Now it's the child all grown up having to take care of her mother,
Yeah.
and nursed her all the way back to health. She was back to better in no time. I mean,
Mm.
waiting on her hand and foot, and I'm still waiting on my mom, making sure that she's taken care of. She said, "Why
Right.
do you do the things you do?" I said, "Mommy, I do this for you." She was like, "You don't have to spoil me with gifts and nice things." I said, "You are, because you are my trophy. You are the woman who brought me into this world." Because to be honest, and I'm sharing this with the world, my mama said she didn't want no more kids. But she was like, okay, one more, because my oldest brother, and my sister were first. 86, they were 80s babies. And then here I come
Mm.
in 93. So
Oh,
she was pregnant in 1992, and then boom, here I am in 1993. And the world got a Miss Stevie. So, I mean, if it wasn't for this woman,
yeah.
I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't
Right.
be here. I wasn't supposed to be here. But my mom said this also. She said, God gave you to me. You're my
Mm.
baby. You're my child. And I
Yeah.
told her this. I said, I do this for you. A lot of people, when we get into business, we want to make sure that our parents are taken care of. And that is one of my first missions, is to make
Yeah.
sure that my mom wouldn't have to want for nothing. I will go back to the world for that woman and back. I will walk through fire
Mm,
and any type of danger that comes toward her. I will make sure she's protected. Because
that's
I'm
beautiful.
quick as a race car, agile as a jaguar, and I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to protect that woman. And for each and every one of us, we're going to make sure that we are protecting our parents. So I said, my mama shouldn't have to want for anything. That woman brought me into this world, and our parents make so many sacrifices for us so that
Right?
we can get in the business. That is like, if this is what you want to do, you make sure you stay in school, you stay focused,
Yeah.
and you make sure that you're getting straight A's and B's. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I was a straight
Come
A and
on
B
now.
honor roll student, garnet
Come
black
on, honor roll.
society.
Yes, ma'am. I couldn't take anything. I couldn't take anything less home to Mary Lou. Anything
Yes,
less.
A's and B's and C's, and then garnet and black society. So
Sweet.
those were privileged that I was privy to in high school. But my mother was so proud. Even then, I came home with a good report card. That made
Mm,
her heart smile. She said, "You always made me smile. You always one that brought me joy." She said, "You are my joy."
wow.
So
It's beautiful.
yeah.
That's beautiful.
We're gonna shift gears here. Movies. We got some questions. Daniel wants to know, have you done any films?
Yes. So I think you mentioned Native, which was the play that I did, and
Yes.
so that's a whole long trajectory. So I'll start at the beginning. So in 2017, I think in 2016 actually, I auditioned for this play that I knew nothing about, playing the role of Richard Wright, and I went in with a Langston Hughes poem because I love Langston Hughes, and so I booked the job, and I was like, okay, and like I said before, actors we just want to book, and then once you book, it's like, oh, now I have to do the work. Right? So I had never heard of Richard Wright before. And once I met him, I was like, oh, this is some deep, deep, deep material, right? He wrote Native Son, which is a very, very harsh book. It tells the story of a young man, Bigger Thomas, who murders not only his girlfriend, but a white girl and burns her body. I was actually written in the 1940s, and it was actually one of the banned books in our country, which is another conversation for another time. But yeah, so playing Richard Wright, right? So we started the tour in 2017, from 2017 to 2019. We were doing high schools, little intimate spaces. And then once the pandemic hit, everything was kind of shut down. But we had the opportunity to turn that play into a film, right? We adapted that play into The Problem of the Hero, which is currently playing on Apple TV Plus. I think it's on a lot of other streaming channels as well. I think it's on Tubi. It's on Tubi and Broadway on Demand. It's on several different streaming platforms. But that is a play that we actually shot in 2020, but because of the pandemic and because of legal ramifications, it didn't premiere until 2023 on the film festival circuit. And then we found a distributor who premiered it for us in March of this year. So that was my first feature film, playing the lead role. And then also, I believe it was last year, I had a featured role in Hulu's The Supremes at Earl's All You Can Eat, where I
Oh
played Daddy Number
yeah.
One with Sanaa Lathan and Uzo Aduba and Ingenue Ellis, right? Which are names that you don't really see. To see my name on the same list with them, that's
And
another
the
great
late
accomplishment. I was
Julian
like,
McMahon. The late Julian
yeah,
McMahon as well.
right. Yeah, we lost him. God, R.I.P. for sure. Right. So yeah, that was a great turning point in my life as well. So if you do watch the film, I'm in the first 5 minutes of the film. And I also have an upcoming, I'm not really sure how much I can share about this one, but I do have another featured role in another Hulu miniseries coming up. There's no premiere date just yet, but I'll keep you informed and let you know. But I shot that, actually I shot that the week before my birthday this year
All right.
in Atlanta. Yeah.
So y'all have to stay tuned. There you go. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that we are in this current time, in this current
Mhm.
age, uh, I'm gonna go back to the pandemic. It was difficult for a lot of us.
Oh
We're
yeah,
now in a
for
current
sure.
time where things have opened back up. We're in 2025. 2020 was difficult for a lot of filmmakers, especially for if you did theater, if you did Broadway. A lot of things were closed down, and we had to do things how we're currently doing this interview right now, which is
Mhm.
it's not a thing for me. I don't mind doing it virtually, but a lot of things were closed down. A lot
Yeah.
of production was postponed. Or
Hmm.
if it was production, there were the guidelines, there were the
Right.
limitations.
Yeah.
Even with talk shows returning, they had the audience how we're doing it now, which is
Hmm.
virtually. And it was maybe two people in the studio, maybe the production crew, but it was very small. So it
Yeah.
was a lot of things that we had to sacrifice. But thank God we're way past that now. Everything is open
Yeah.
back up. The world is open back up. We're back on set. We're filming. We're producing. We're writing, and we need more of that. And my last question, before we get to our game segment here, we're gonna do some games with Jay. Uh,
Okay.
how important is it that we continue as Black filmmakers, as creators, as playwrights, to keep making sure that our stories are told?
I love that you said that because I'm going to bring up so in 2024, my colleagues and I started a theater production company called Reclaiming Our Time Productions, where we showcase BIPOC stories and BIPOC storytelling. And actually, in August of this year, we're having our Black Excellence Showcase, where we're showcasing local talent, and we're telling our stories. And I think that's the main thing to keep us alive. I think a lot of times when especially the modern society thinks of Black stories, they want to relegate us to slavery. We're much more than that.
Or
We're
the
much more
drug
than we ever
era.
be.
It's like they
Right.
typecast us in one
For sure.
specific thing. And it's
Right.
just like, I'm
Well, I
thankful
think
for shows like Living
right,
Single, because
right.
Living Single showed us in a different light. Of yes, the focus was for Black women, but it showcased for Black women who were career driven women who were doing
Upwardly
something.
mobile. Yeah. But are you watching the podcast with Erica and Kim Coles?
Reliving Single, yes, I love it. Y'all
Yes,
need
I'm
to go
enjoying
check it
that.
out.
I'm definitely enjoying that. But yeah, I think modern society loves to see us downtrodden, and they want to see us in trauma. That's not who we are. Of course, there is that's there, yes. But let's also showcase the upwardly mobile, like the characters from Living Single. Let's see more of the Huxtables. Let's see more of the Bankses from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like those stories exist. Black people are not a
Future
monolith,
7 was one. Mary was a
right?
work. She was a stay-at-home
Right.
mom. She was a working woman. But not only
Right.
that, but she was taking care of her village with her friends as help
For
as
sure.
well. That was what community looked like. And
Hmm.
so her and her friend uh, Rose,
Yeah. Right.
yes,
Yeah.
Rose was helping raise her daughter. Rose's daughter was
And
the same, vice versa.
um,
Whenever they needed to go do homework, you go down to Rose's house and you do it. So I mean,
and what,
shows
what
like
was
that showcase us in a different light as
what
well.
was Helen Mirren's the grandmother? She was raising her grandson, right? Calvin's grandmother,
Pearl,
Pearl. Yeah,
Pearl,
Pearl
and
Shay.
Calvin. Yep.
Right. Yeah. 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 See, those are the type of shows that I grew up on, right? Like we don't see that as prevalent as it was in the 90s, right? In the early 2000s. Like those that's the type of stuff that I want to see, right? That's the stuff that we're longing for. So we want to showcase that as much as we can and as often as possible. So hopefully this will be an annual event. This year is called Black Excellence Speak Echo Rise. The tickets are available via Eventbrite. We are showcasing again local talent. We're telling stories. It's going to be gospel, it's going to be hip hop, it's going to be funk, it's going to be jazz, it's going to be dancing, because we want to showcase that. We don't see that a lot, especially in this community. We're often relegated to like February, right? Where we get 28 days to be proud to be Black. We're much more than that. I'm Black 365 days of the year, right? And I get an
Right.
extra day in the leap year. So, right. So that's definitely what we're showcasing. And we actually, what's so kismet is that there was a complete full circle where our first production, Reclaiming Our Time Productions, our first production was Native, which is the play that I did from 2017, 2019. So I was able to produce my own show.
And we need more of that. We need more of
Right.
that. And
For
if
sure.
as it pertains to living single, Erica
Hmm.
Alexander has Color Farm Media, which is her production
Yeah.
company. She produced comic books. So it's important that she was saying that as well too, that we continue to produce and tell our stories.
Right.
Nobody can tell it better than us.
And the Reliving Single podcast is her collaborating with Heartbeat Media, which is Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart, yep.
Yeah. Hmm. So,
More
and I think
more
that
black
that
characters.
working together too. Like I think a lot of times we have this crabs in a barrel mentality with us sometimes. But I think we're stronger together. The civil rights movement proved that we are stronger together.
Hello? Not
Yeah.
divided. We got to. You got to more
Yeah,
than
for
ever.
sure.
And if I can be
Especially
one of
now.
the tilting points to bring and bridge us together as black creatives, as creative, and letting our talent show for itself. Because we're so, as you just said, it's so much more than just that. And Leslie Jones, she even said it herself as a black actor, I'm tired of being typecast as the loudmouth best friend when I want to play something that is serious. And I think the
Right.
comedian that did it for me, and I had the pleasure of meeting him, was Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans did it with respect where he played a character. I mean, we know him from the Wayans brothers, White
Right.
Chicks,
Yeah.
Living Color, all of
Right.
these shows that we grew up on.
Hmm.
But to see him outside of his element doing a bio, a drama on someone's life,
Right. Yeah.
you got to be able to step out of that.
For sure.
And that's what he said. I want to be, I don't want to be known as just the funny. I want to be known that I have versatility, that I'm
There's more.
multifaceted, that I'm able to do different roles and not just the funny roles.
Right. I want to recommend to you though, Requiem for a Dream, which is a movie from like the early 2000s. I think Marlon played like a dramatic role, and I will caution you, it's a lot. It's triggering. It's harsh. It's about drug abuse. But that was one of the first roles I saw Marlon in, where I was like, this guy is much more than what we've seen of him, and I'm glad that he's kind of coming into that now. So Requiem for a Dream, if you haven't seen it, definitely look into it. But go in prepared that it's a hard one to get through, but it's definitely one of the better films that I've seen him in.
And he still does his comedy too. So you get the
Oh
best
yeah,
of both
right.
worlds. And as a
And
actor, you have to
hilariously
be
funny.
able to. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, no. I'm just saying. I was agreeing with you. He's hilariously funny. He after I think to me he's second after Damon.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
for sure, for sure.
right.
And then we a lot of people keep forgetting about Kim Waynes, and she does these shows, but you can still it's dramatic, but she still brings comedy in a way. You
Mm-hmm.
still get that in living color feeling in a way
Yeah,
for
yeah,
my
yeah.
living color fans out there. She still brings it. So they can do that. And what I love about the Wayne's family, Marlon and Damon, they can do these type of shows, but they're showing you their range, their
Mm-hmm.
versatility, and as an actor. And Taraji P. Henson, I'm a big Taraji P. Henson fan.
Okay.
Uh, she said this in an interview when she was doing the role for Cookie on Empire. She said, I won't do it if it doesn't scare me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to take on a role if it doesn't challenge me. So you got to
Yeah.
be willing to step out of your norm and do the things that you haven't really done as far as
Yeah.
roles go.
Because I think it grows you also as a person when you're able to tap into those specific ways of life and learn from it, right? Because I think we're all there's as you said, there's versatility in all of us, and we can discover ourselves in portraying someone else. I know that's very accurate to say, but I think for me, a lot of times I've actually learned a lot about who I am portraying characters who are different from me because we're able to see the through line from their point of view.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Absolutely. All right, fashion dolls, it is now time to get into our games before we wrap. The first one
Okay.
is called Rapid Five. And
Okay.
Jay has to tell me 5 things that he can't live without. My very special guest will spill all of their secrets. They let me know if it's like their favorite football team, their favorite artist, their favorite drink, their favorite food to eat, whatever their guilty pleasure is that they can't live without. And then in the next segment we're going to do is called Turn the Tables. I see a lot of new faces popping in. For my new viewers, I'm a new face to some and a familiar face to some. All right? you get to know a little bit about me through Jay's questioning, and Jay gets to host the show. So I'm going to pass the mic
Oh
to him.
wow.
But
Ah,
first, all right,
okay.
fashion dolls. Let's get into the rapid five. Jay, what are five things you can't live without?
God, my mom, um, peanut butter, which and peanut butter is my
Okay.
favorite food. Um, Quality storytelling. And five things, my bed. I will take. I'll take a nap whenever I get the chance.
Whew.
Right.
And it's been thundering and raining outside, so I know
What you
I can't
said?
get up with our interview. And I'm uploaded and editing everything, got everything posted for next week. The lineup for next week is already up. Fashion Dolls is already pinned, so make sure you
Sweet.
guys go and tap and check it out. Uh, I will be resting. It will be my time
Yeah.
to rest. So for everybody, take
You
that time
got
to
it.
rest.
We got to recharge because we're constantly on the go. You got to recharge.
24/7, 24/7.
Yeah.
We are always on the go. It's been a busy week for each and every one of us. So make sure that you're prioritizing your rest and your mental health. I am going to pass the microphone on down to Jay here, and Jay gets
Oh
the host of
wow.
the show. So he's going to ask me some questions, all right? Whatever he
Cool.
wants to know, fashion, beauty, life, family, goal, dream, whatever he wants to know, he gets to ask. Take it
So
away, Jay.
what started this dream for you? Where did you get into the fashion and makeup and hair? Like what was the triggering moment that said, "Hey, this is who I'm meant to be"?
Wow. Um, Growing up, I would always watch Soul Train. And
Hmm.
everyday Soul Train, BET, this is in the late, in the early 90s. We're talking like 94,
Yeah.
95 or so. And I would see the Dark and Lovely commercials, the beautiful
Hmm.
women in the Dark and Lovely hair color commercials. And I'm just like, oh, wow. Or on the perm box, I had to have a perm box. And I remember my father would have to get the women in the family to use the contents out of the box, of course. And I would just collect them. And I'd be like, wow, I want to look like the girls on the box and host a talk show. And at the time, Jane
Oh.
Jones was on television. Rolanda had her talk show. So, I
Hmm.
mean, that's kind of what inspired me and infused that years later. So I meet my assistant principal, Dr. G, Dr. Glover. And one day, because I wanted to major in fashion illustration, like do the sketches. If you go back and you
Hmm.
look at some of the designers' sketches for how they make the pieces for some of these, the
Yeah.
I remember seeing some of the designs for Beyonce's tour costume outfits for
Hmm.
Renaissance and some of the designers like Mugler and so many. So my sister principal, she came and she tapped me over the shoulder because there was other kids in there. We were in there playing around in high school. And she said, I see you like fashion. I'll bring you some Vogues the next day. Jay,
Hmm.
woman came back to school the next day and she said, go to my car. I got some books for you. She called me to her office. I'm thinking I'm in trouble or something, but it was totally something else.
Hmm.
And when I tell you, I looked on her back seat because she never allowed students really to do that. Students wasn't supposed to do that, but she said we were real close. We were here.
Hmm.
It's practically like an aunt to me. And she gives me the keys to go unlock her car door. And on the back seat, it was Vogue, it was Harper's Bazaar, and
Wow.
the page amount. We are talking 850 pages of fashion. The book was this thick. My mouth
Oh.
was on the floor because
How
all
how
I
old were
knew
you?
growing up in middle school, this is like in
Middle
my
school.
20s. I'm 31 now.
Yeah.
I said, what in the world? I was enamored. Flipping through the pages, seeing the luxury designs like Gucci and Versace and Valentino and
Hmm.
Mugler, and she taught me how to pronounce them and how. And I went and did it on my own. I went and I ordered the actual catalogs, which I still have, of the
Hmm.
designers, the lookbooks from Versace, and they sent the envelope. It was so beautiful, and I still have them in my. They're somewhere in my closet. And I said, oh no, I'm not throwing these away. I'm keeping these. So it was
Yeah.
for spring and summer. But she taught me so much about fashion. At a young age, I grew up and just watched the Dark and Lovely commercials on BET, watching women get their hair and makeup done, the Revlon commercials, the Dark and Lovely and the CoverGirl and the Maybelline commercials. And I'm at a young age taking all of
Yeah.
this in, and I'm just like, wow, okay, I think I found my love. I want to do hair. I want to do cosmetology. And I also took up cosmetology in high school, got my license in 2013 and graduated in 2016. And years later, that's the birth of Style by Stevie right there. From everything that my assistant principal taught me on fashion and how to pronounce the designers' names, she said, "Oh no, honey, that's not how you pronounce their names. You pronounce it right. If you're going to
Right.
be in
Yeah.
fashion." She was like,
Yeah.
don't do that. And she taught me, so that's how I know, and I'm so well equipped. Or as Latroy would say, a fashion historian is what he called me. I said, I wouldn't
Oh,
call myself a historian because I'm still learning. It's new designers emerging every single day.
yeah.
And you still got to know what their favorite look or attire or aesthetic that they're going for is. So every day from since then throughout my high school years, she would
Mm.
call a student because a student would have their break. They would be up front working in the office as well too. They especially didn't have a period, and they would knock on the classroom door where I was at. I got special treatment, y'all, and she brought the magazines to me to the classroom, the Hoppers Bazaar and the Vogue. My teachers didn't mind it because I was such a good student. Like I didn't really give any problems. But
Yeah.
that was one thing that she would always do. She would always bring me a Vogue or a Hoppers Bazaar. And it was me and this other girl, shout outs to my friend. We became friends because we both have a mutual love of fashion. Her name is Avery, Ave Bella here on the gram. And she has her lash and lip gloss business. So make sure y'all go and follow her. Uh, we became friends. And I would go to her office every morning. It would be a ritual. And I said, well, do you have the newest Vogue or Hoppers Bazaar? It was like an addiction to me. I was just like, I can't get enough of it. I got to want more fashion. And she was like, no, Avery got it. I said, Avery? Who's, who's she? And I met her and I fell in love with her. She had colorful hair at the time, like almost like how mine is, but she would wear all these outrageous hair colors. And I said, oh, I like her, and we
Mm.
just clicked and became friends. It's a scene in, I think, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, where you see
Okay.
Marilyn Monroe and Jane Russell walk out. That was me and Avery right there. We were
Wow.
both fashion girls, and we took over that whole entire school. Like, one thing we were known for is fashion and changing up our looks. Mainly me for my nails, because my sister principal was like, "How do you wear them so long? How do you do it?" And my teachers didn't really give me any fever about it. They were just like, "That's Stevie. Stevie gonna do what Stevie want to do as far as his style." But that's how I got into fashion. Much credit to my
Wow.
assistant principal and just watching television, reading fashion magazines. Yeah.
Yeah. That's beautiful. I mean, to have an eye for fashion is that's a gift.
Yeah.
To like to see things and be able to put them together. Like me, just give me a t-shirt and jeans and I'm good. But to be able to like have a keen eye to see how to match, that's a beautiful, beautiful talent. Right. And
And
I know
for
you said that,
women,
yeah,
yeah,
for women
for
for
women,
sure.
it's completely different because we have to make sure everything is perfectly matched together, the hair, the makeup, and a lot of the looks that I wear, because I'm pretty sure you guys like, how do your eyes appear so wide and awake? It was a tip that I learned from the supermodel Naomi Campbell, and it
Mm.
is white eyeliner. For my ladies, white eyeliner makes the eyes appear brighter. I have brown eyes. You can't really tell on camera, they look black, but
Mm.
that was a tip that has always stuck with me as far as makeup
Wow.
artistry goes for years. Overlining the lips, I learned that from Naomi Campbell as well too. Watching her say these things in the interviews, and I was like, oh, let me go and try this. Now I see what she's saying, and I see myself look different after doing my own makeup, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I know how to highlight, contour, all of these things. Whereas going to school, I would do my makeup. It would be like those pencil thin brows, and I would go back and look at my high school pictures, and I'm just like, what in the world was I thinking? I didn't even know how to apply lashes back then at that
Wow.
time in 2016. But as I graduated and I really, really studied everything that I've learned from beauty school, that's how I learned.
Wow. That's beautiful. And I know you
Mhm.
mentioned you said you have North Carolina roots. Where are you located now?
I'm in South Carolina. I'm a South
Oh,
Carolina
okay.
girl. but I have
Okay.
family in North
North
Carolina.
Carolina.
The majority of my family's in New York because I told you guys that my father is from New York. So
Mm-hmm.
Brooklyn, Brownsboro, Syracuse, all over, and especially Virginia too. So it is
Sweet.
so good. I have a sister and a brother up there. So I have four
Okay.
brothers, two sisters. Like I said, one of my sisters passed
Yeah.
June
Right.
29th, would have been her birthday. But
Mm-hmm.
my other sister, she's in New York. So yeah. And then
She
I
come
have a
from
niece and I have a nephew as well too. And nephews, because my brother has a son as well too. My other brother in
wow.
North Carolina. Yeah.
She come from a big family, right?
Yes. Pretty big
So
family.
yeah. Well, I was looking at some of your other interviews. I know you've interviewed like Tommy Davidson and Vanessa Williams, who are
Oh God.
beautiful, great names. Who are some guests that you would be your ideal like interviewee?
Oh, I would love to interview Jennifer Lewis. I would love to interview Felicia Rashad and Debbie
Mm,
Allen. And just sit. Lynn Whitfield is another one. I love powerful
mm,
women. And
yeah,
just be able to listen as they pour from their cup of knowledge
right.
to me
Yeah,
everything. I'd be like this, like a kid in a candy store, like, and then what
yeah.
happens next? And just to be able to hear these women just tell bits and
Right,
pieces of their lives.
right.
Those are some of the women that I would like to sit with.
Yeah. Well, who's your favorite fashion designer right now or in the past?
My look is kind of inspired by him. Today, Terry Mugler. Terry
Okay.
Mugler had a very extraordinary eye for fashion. And if
Mm,
you go back and you look at his shows from the early 80s, we're talking 85, 86, and then you fast forward and you go to the early 90s, like I want to say 97, where he did the whole show based off of insects. And if you follow Laverne Cox basically her whole house is a room. She has a room with nothing but archival pieces from Terry Mugler, and they
oh,
are
wow.
worth millions of dollars.
Mm,
They are
yeah,
gorgeous. And I watched the models walk out in the show with the wings on the back of the dress, and I was just enamored. I can't describe it. I can't put it in. I can't describe it
yeah.
because he was such a visionary. So Terry
Mm,
Mugler, hands down.
sweet. Now I know. I don't know Andre Leon Talley. I'm sure you know who that is. He's actually from Durham. Is he from Durham? He has roots in like Durham, North Carolina, right? Yeah,
Yes, the
yeah.
late Andre
So
Leon.
that wasn't a
Oh,
question. I was just saying that was just another connection. Yeah, I remember him. And I did see as I was like scrolling my timeline that they're doing another Project Runway. Like that's coming back, right?
yes.
Yeah.
I
I
think it's
remember.
for the next generation. So I'm looking forward to seeing this, seeing Heidi Klum and the others back at their roots, back
Yeah.
helping decide the next. Because there's so many up and coming designers. Like I said, I can't keep up with them all. The ones that I'm familiar with, as you've asked me, Terry Mugler,
Hmm.
Valentino, Oscar de la Renta. And it's just like they modernized it, but I like going back in time to the archives. A
Yeah.
lot of celebs, like Cardi B is one of my style influences as well too. I watch Clueless. Clueless, I this season I kind of modeled some of my fashions after Clueless and
Okay.
just put my own spin onto it. But Cardi B and like I said, Laverne Cox, they go and they get the archival pieces, the
Mm.
pieces that the models actually worn in the show. And you would sometimes see some of these pieces in museums, but they got the coin, so they can go and get it.
Yeah.
Not this
Right.
girl here. I can dress like it.
Right. You get
I
influenced
can
by it.
dress
Right.
like
I get it. I get it. Not today anyway. It's coming. It's coming.
yes.
Right. So I know the Met Gala was a couple months back. Who were some of your favorite looks from the Met Gala?
Oh, I love Janelle Monae. Janelle
Okay.
Monae is a walking masterpiece.
Mm,
Whenever she shows up, because it was the previous year before, the theme was camp. She showed up with like this top hat, and it was like this big eye over the left boobie area, and I was just like
mm,
enamored. But Christian Siriano designed that.
okay.
So each Met Gala, she ceased to amaze me because she always delivers. Another woman I would have to say would be Zendaya and the
Mm,
boss, Miss Diana Ross. Diana Ross
mm,
shut the whole entire red carpet down with her train. And then Tiana Taylor, of course. So those are some of my top picks. Coleman
mm.
Domingo, if you want to go to the men's side, absolutely dapper.
Amen.
I mean, the whole thing was dapper. It was supposed to be the black dandy, dapper. When I think
Yeah,
of a black dandy, you think of the Harlem Renaissance. You think of men with
right,
their
for sure.
cigars,
Right.
wearing their suits and their cufflinks. That's
And
what
they're
I think of.
proud. Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, well, that's so. It's like your passion for fashion is so inspiring. It's just like how I feel about acting. Like there's the minutia of it all. Like the simple things is what we get so excited about. That's very, very beautiful to see, and that you imbue that and that you can share that with us. Yeah. Well, I think
And you know
that's all.
what? Oh,
Those are all the questions that I have right now. Hopefully they weren't too crazy.
no, no,
Yeah.
it's right up my alley because you guys know how much I love fashion. And what's so crazy is my guests know how much I love fashion.
Mm,
They'll send me things. The viewers will send me things. I'll be, because I put my phone in sleep mode, and I wake
mm,
up and my inboxes sometimes is flooded from them sending me pictures of gowns. What do you think of this? And what do you think of this? Because they know I love gowns as well too. I have to
mm,
channel my inner Carrie Bradshaw, Jay. I just cannot not put on a gown. It's fashion for me. It's every day. I love
yeah.
dressing up and changing up my look because
Yeah.
fashion trends change, but they always send me pictures of gowns, videos of fashion shows that happen, New York Fashion Week and Paris Fashion Week, and I'm just like, why do y'all do this to me? Now I got to try to go and pull from my closet, and I have dozens of pieces too. I've had to give pieces away, but it's just like I got to change my look each season. You got to step it up
Mm,
even more and more and more and more and more. So I love that they do that because that gives me inspiration. And once I
right.
look at that, and then I look at a picture, or I go through the old-fashioned way, look at fashion magazines because I read Vogue Paris, American Vogue, so many, and I stay up and I'm just like, okay, don't copy their style, but be original. And even as it pertains to the acting aspect, make
Yeah.
sure that you are bringing your personality to it because when you put on that character's shoes and you put on that character's, you turn on that character, put
Yeah.
breathe life into it and become that vessel,
Yeah. For sure.
it's
Yeah.
all on you from there. You're no longer
Right.
yourself. You're that character now.
And you hope that that character impacts the audience just as much as it impacts you.
Yes. Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely.
Yes, man.
So before we let you go, Jay,
Mm-hmm.
any gems or encouragement that you would give to anybody, young boy or girl in the North Carolina area, or anybody that's in the Carolina areas watching both of us and how we've garnered everything in our careers, what would you tell them?
I just want to end how we started the interview. Fret not small beginnings. What you're doing now is going to lay the foundation for where you're going. Don't give up. It sounds cliche, but it's very, very true. Your moment is coming. It has to come. And it may not be on the scale that you might achieve to, and you may even discover things along the way that you hadn't even thought about before. So again, this is a journey. It's a marathon. It's not a race. You're going to get there. Just don't give up. Never give up.
Absolutely. And I want you all to remember that today's final thought, Fashion Dolls, and I want you guys to know this today's final thoughts: nourish your curiosity and discover how creative you truly are. I want you all to be intentional and be positive, think positive, have a better outlook. There is so much greater in the horizon for you for anybody who wants to get into writing, anybody that wants to get into directing, producing. You have the talent, so go for it now. And as I tell you guys at the end of every interview, live life through fire. You have the fire inside of you. You have a passion. And shout outs to my brother K Tukes, who is one of my major support systems, people in my support systems. And check out his platform too, the K Tukes spot. Make sure you guys check him out and go and support. And K Tukes will literally call me. It is about having that village behind you, as me and Jay touched
Sure.
on in the beginning, mid part of this interview, making sure that you have a village and a tribe of people behind you. If not him, then my colleague. Now's the time. Shout outs to Bubs the God. Shout outs to Harold. Shout outs to uh, Boss Man, the Objectivist. Shout outs to my colleague Alvin Tit and Tat This for That. Shout outs to Keon. Shout outs to Queen Spicy. Shout outs to everybody that has showed me so much mad love and support. Shout outs to Conscious TV. Shout outs to each and every one of you who have backed me and showed me nothing but love and support. And it is about having that village, that tribe of people around you, because I believe that community and family will get you a long way if you let it. Stay uplifted and know that when you walk into a room, your energy is palpable. Your energy is palpable. People love you. There's some that's going to dislike you. Don't worry about them. But the ones that are there truly, genuinely there for you, you keep them in your life. They'll be there forever. And I want to leave you guys with that. And the project is titled, make sure you guys please go and check out JN, The Problem of the Hero, on any following of the platforms, Prime Video, Tubi, and you can check it out on Apple TV Plus. Make sure you guys please go and check it out and support this brother here and everything that he is doing. Support Black filmmakers and producers and directors. And Jay, let everyone know where they can follow you and check you out.
You can follow me here on Instagram at J underscore Mardris underscore actor, or visit jmardris.com. If you're also looking into Reclaiming Our Time Productions, that is reclaimingourtime.org.
There you go. Make sure you guys hit on over and support. Make sure you guys support all of the content creators that are my good, good, good friends. And it's such an honor to be in a circle with these people. So thank
It
y'all
was an
all so much for this.
honor to be here this evening. Thank you so much for having me.
You are so welcome, and I had a fabulous time. Make
As
sure
did
you
I.
guys head on over and subscribe to Style by Stevie Daytime if you have not. Make sure you guys hit that bell so you'll be notified when new interviews and shows are posted. And also, this will be saved here on the gram so you guys can go back and catch the replay on either or, whichever works for you. Now, I would suggest you do it on YouTube because you can watch it on your television. I've literally watched my own interviews on the television. I've gotten out of the phase where I just couldn't watch my interviews because I would be so harsh critiquing myself or pointing something out. Now I'm at a space where I'm just like, hey, it is what it is. I'll be cleaning or watching something and I just let the interview just go. Or I'll be asleep and wake up and my thing will be an autoplay. And I'm like, how do I get on the TV? So, y'all, I love you all. Make sure you guys are being safe, be intentional, and I will see you guys next week. Next week, Nate Taylor joins me. The lineup for next week is up, and make sure you guys stay tuned for the LOTD, which is the look of the day. I will be posting that. It was 5 looks this week, so stay tuned. Make sure you vote for your favorite look of the week. I love you all, Fashion Dolls, and y'all take care.